Yeah, cool, great. This morning's broadcast, Dan, I realized I wasn't on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to link it to Facebook this morning. Yeah.
It's supposed to. Hello, JJ Walsh. Hello.
Hi.
It's supposed to
Hi,
maintain the
JJ.
link.
Yeah. I put it off. I took it off for a little while, right? But I forgot to put it back on.
Oh,
That's all.
That explains it.
Yeah.
I've had about 3 times so far. I've had my YouTube link drop for some reason. I don't know why.
Really, huh?
Yeah.
How do I get rid of the black space? The on the upper left. Dan.
Click on the upper right, the blue outline around that, or the countdown that's over. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I'm still learning the ropes here. How's things in Hiroshima, JJ? Yeah, nice. So you had a pretty non-eventful day there, Dan?
Pretty non-eventful. I'm just happy that I didn't get rained on, Don't know.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting you said that. I got rained on yesterday, actually.
Oh.
After our broadcast yesterday, I had another class, and then it wasn't raining, right? And I decided, okay, well, let me ride the bike to the post office and to the Hyakuen shop, right, and pick up a few things. And on my way back, I just got poured on.
Oh, no.
I got soaking wet, right? So,
not good.
Fortunately, I had a change of clothes here.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly, JJ. Yeah, yeah, indeed. So, what do you think?
Muggy.
What do you think of?
Hello,
what do you think of the future of transportation, Dan? Hey, Eleanor.
I think it's going to be different than it is now.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it will be.
Okay, all right. Well, see, I got that one right. Okay, I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead.
You got that one right. Let's have a look, right? Yeah. Well, of course, the future is upon us.
Yes, it is.
With advances in smart technology, the technology is getting smarter and smarter, right? And right, things are happening. Things are changing rapidly, right? Technological advances, we'll see such things as self-driving cars, I'm sure, that are already being tested on the road. Yeah. Have you ever ridden in a self-driving car, Dan?
No, I have not. No.
Me neither. I'd like to give it a try.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you trust them? I mean,
no, I don't. Not at this point. Not at all. I would, so what was it? A few years ago, where I think it was in Saudi Arabia, or no, maybe it was the UAE, where they built a city, and they made the city without any streets, and I think it's like they had an underground transportation system that was all individual cars that were self-driving individual cars and so on.
Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So in that kind of situation, maybe, if it was totally controlled, the only cars on there were the self-driving ones and so on, that might be okay. But, you start bringing, other people piloting their little personal rockets around. No, I don't think so. I don't trust that. No.
Yeah, right. And Eleanor said she doesn't trust hackers. Yeah.
Don't trust the hackers. Yeah. Another good point.
Yeah, exactly. That is a very good point. I don't trust them quite yet either. No, right.
No.
Other things are coming to heed as well, right? As far as technological advances go. I'm sure we're going to have autonomous flying vehicles, someday. Although to me, it seems quite difficult as to making lanes and how would you do
that just seems, I mean, it seems like it's going to be chaotic at the beginning until, trying to regulate that 3D travel spaces. I mean, it's, we only have, a few thousands of airplanes in airspace, and yet we still have near misses with those things and so on. So I don't know. It's gonna be total chaos. Um,
I think it's going to be total chaos. Yeah, indeed. Right.
yeah,
Because where do you go? Do you go up? Do you go up? Do you go, next to one
right.
another?
Yeah, yeah,
You go catty corner, right?
right.
Opposite to one another, and it's just it seems to be very chaotic, right?
And that's one
Somebody's
thing
going to
that
have to figure that out.
I mean, I saw just recently. I think it was a military exercise. Yeah, some soldier or whatever had a personal, uh, flight device. He was using and so on. And I mean, it's come quite a ways, but it's still, I think, very, very far. Well, I mean, it's still far in the future. Maybe not very far, but I mean, that's a form of transportation that people have been talking about since I was a kid, and it doesn't
Yeah.
seem all that much closer today than it was then. I mean, I was thinking when I was young, oh yeah, and when I'm old enough to drive, they'll have those things, or when I when I go to
Hmm.
college, I could probably fly to college in my own, on my jetpack or whatever. But that's taking a lot longer
Right.
than
Right.
I thought. Yeah,
A lot longer, right? Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm sure it'll take even longer
yeah,
than it has been, right? Totally, right? Yeah.
yeah.
I remember hearing those stories too.
Mm.
My science teacher told us, oh, when you get older, you're going to be able to drive a flying car, fly a flying car. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah, sure. I mean,
yeah,
there are people who are testing them, and there have been a few that have been homemade. I've seen on the internet and on YouTube and
yep,
whatnot. Yeah,
yeah,
and hover bikes as well, right?
right.
Hover bikes are kind of being tested now too. I think for military purposes. I saw one article on the internet. In some areas, policemen have hover bikes. Yeah,
Mm.
I have a couple pictures I'll show in a minute. But right, yeah,
So that way they
I
can
don't know.
travel
I don't
over.
know.
They can travel over land or water. Is that the point?
Right, they can travel over land, water, anywhere. Right. Hmm.
Hello,
Yeah, in
Dubai.
Dubai.
Hello,
Right.
Mush.
Oh, Dubai.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Dubai, maybe they have do these kinds of things in Dubai, right?
Right. Maybe that place I
Uh,
was talking about was in Dubai,
oh,
that
okay.
modern city. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I've seen a few things. It seems to me on YouTube with people, making these by hand and
mm,
whatnot. Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah. That
testing them out.
all
Yeah.
this, brings to mind the movie Back to the Future. When
Right.
who was it? I mean, it wasn't. I think we've already passed the time, didn't we? He went when Doc went into the future and he got the DeLorean fixed with a Mr. Fusion. I thought that was cool, the Mr. Fusion thing. You generate the electricity with a Mr. Fusion. You dump your garbage into the back there and it fuses it into usable energy.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was
2015,
great.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that
Right, right,
that and
right. I remember that.
making it into a flying car, but neither one of those are anywhere close. So he kind of missed the
No,
mark
not
there.
yet. Not yet. Missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah,
by 5 or 6 years now, anyway, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I think hover bikes, jet packs, right? These things are,
Oh,
there's a learning curve. I think, right? First of
mm,
all,
mm.
I think they can be dangerous, so you better be wearing a helmet, right?
Right, right.
Uh, and I would imagine there is some kind of learning curve to
Well, I mean,
piloting these things. Mhm.
to me, the thing, I mean, I can't believe that form of travel is going to be more energy efficient than your standard internal combustion engine cars. I mean, we're talking about flying. You're talking about yeah, whatever. You gotta move against gravity, right?
Mhm.
Um, so
Right.
how
Yeah. Right.
these flying car, and energy is the big problem, right? I mean, burning fossil fuels, that's no good. the electric engines that we have now are not as powerful as the combustion engines that we have, you know. So I just don't see how all that's going to work. You know, even the, you know, the prototype cars that people have made are not by any means energy efficient. Of course, that will come, that'll improve, you know, as they develop them, but still seems like that's got a long way to go. So I think we'll run
Yeah,
out
it's
of
got a
gas
long
before
way to
those things
go.
ever. Yeah.
And yeah, right. And energy efficiency, right? There's got to be something new, right? Invented. Perhaps if there's something new, right, that they find in order to power these things, maybe it'll work out. But you know, not the way it's going now, right?
Yeah.
Hydrogen, possibly. What about that?
Hydrogen. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know, hydrogen is a highly explosive gas, you know. There's gonna be danger, you know, how you gonna transport the fuel, you know, you refuel and so on. Those are um
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I
Yeah, there's
mean
a couple.
hydrogen,
Yeah, hydrogen,
thank you
right?
for riding my Tesla
Sure,
so
of
fast.
course. Yeah, so fast. Yeah, thanks, JJ. Would love to, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tesla. My friend has a Tesla. My predecessor in my job has a
Uh-huh.
Tesla, a
Mm,
red Tesla,
a
and it
red
is
Tesla.
cool, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
a red Tesla. Yeah, yeah. Eleanor had a funny comment. She said, "Darn gravity, always bringing you down." Right? Yeah,
that's
it's
right.
true.
Yeah. It's more expensive compared to
Indeed. Yeah.
electric cars. Yes. Solar to electric cars is very efficient and
Yeah.
cheap over time. Yeah. Solar to electric. Yeah. Once they
That's
get
right.
that, yeah.
Use solar to
Flying cars.
electric. Yeah,
You can't even
solar
get
to
people to
electric.
stand in
Right.
line for a Popeye sandwich in an orderly manner. Right. Yeah. It's gonna be chaos, you know. Um,
It's going to be
yeah.
total chaos. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be total chaos. Yeah.
Didn't we already do
And
that? I still
it's
think you can remember the
yeah.
Hindenburg. Right. The Hindenburg. Exactly.
JJ's Tesla's blue. All right.
Cool.
That'd be cool. Red and blue Teslas driving together.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Tesla's. I guess JJ's Tesla's electric, right? It's got
Mm.
batteries, right? Because my predecessor's Tesla, he doesn't have a spare tire because the whole bottom of his car are batteries, right?
Wow.
And it's a totally electric, right?
Mm.
He has to charge it, of course, but it makes absolutely no sound. It's interesting, very interesting. Yeah,
Mm.
I haven't ridden in it yet. I've seen it,
Yeah. Yeah,
but as
batteries.
you see in this slide here,
Mm.
sorry, and yeah, as we see in the slide here, these two kind of flying vehicle pictures here I found.
Talked with a
Right.
Toyota
Yeah.
Mirai hydrogen expert the other day. Lots of potential.
Nice. Oh, wow. Okay. Toyota Mirai hydrogen expert. Right. Okay. Yeah, that's what I've heard too. Right. Hydrogen has a lot of potential. Yeah. A lot of potential. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's one of the waves of the future.
Mm.
Right. Hydrogen. Solar to electric. Something to electric. Right. Yeah.
Charging
Definitely.
stations in downtown Denver. Wow. Nothing like that.
Oh, wow. Great.
There aren't any charging stations in Kumamoto yet, are there? Or are there? And I just don't know where
I
they
think
are.
there are a couple. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there are a couple. I've seen a few gas stations with some charging stations, but
Okay.
not many, right? They're
Right.
few and far between, and you have to know where they are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
have
I can't
seen
really remember where they are right now.
I have seen a couple of Leaf cars driving around. The Leaf.
Right, I've seen a few Leafs too.
Yeah.
Leaves,
Leafs.
what have you?
Leafs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what is the plural of Leafs?
Leafs, right?
Yeah, it's Leafs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question. Yeah, and the waste from the exhaust is water. Yeah, that's one really important thing, I think. Yeah, I'm way into that, right? From the hydrogen waste is water, right? Exactly, right.
Tesla all electric.
Tesla all electric, right? Yeah.
Japan has
has more
more
charging
charging
stations
stations
than
than gas
gas stations. Wow.
Really?
I think Kumamoto's coming. Yeah, I think
Not here. Yeah, not here.
Kumamoto. Yeah, Kumamoto. They're kind of maybe getting there. I'm sure north, right? Honshu, right?
Mm.
Hiroshima, Tokyo, right? Maybe Kyoto, and and such. Maybe they have a lot of charging stations, which is great. Yeah,
Hmm.
we need to see that down here in Kyushu.
Yeah.
Maybe Fukuoka, Dan. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. Yeah. That would make more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
We have them, but
yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm,
we do have them, but they are sparsely placed and few and far between. Yeah,
mm.
yeah. A few Teslas here, but very expensive. Wow. Yeah. Okay. 70,000 euro. That's pretty expensive. Yes. I guess they're expensive all over. I'm not sure how much my predecessor, paid for his red Tesla. I could imagine a pretty penny.
So how we
Maybe.
how we going to power all these cars, right? Solar
Right.
is solar enough to
Right.
power
Solar.
a car during the rainy season?
I think yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. I think not quite yet. Hopefully they'll make more technological advances to be able to do so, to generate solar into electric. I think it would be cool to have self-driving vehicles with solar capability, turning it into electric, right? Eventually.
Yeah. 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 Like I said,
Self-sustaining, right? No waste.
yeah, the only way I'm going to ride in a solar or a self-driving car is if that's all the only kind of car there is, right? If that's all there are,
Yeah,
then
right.
I'll feel that okay, maybe. But I have solar on house and charge at
Yeah.
home, easy peasy. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah. Solar and house charge at home. Yeah, that's easy peasy. Excellent. Yeah. And she said the price just came down for a Tesla in Japan. I didn't know that. Yeah, maybe I can afford one.
What's the usable life of a solar panel? I mean, they don't go forever, right? They or do they?
That's a very good question.
I
That's a
know.
very good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was hearing, when I was in the Philippines, in the northern part of the Philippines, in Ilocos, went to an area where they had a huge array of a huge stand of the windmills, right? The generating windmills, the wind turbines, and
Yeah,
but
sure.
I heard that those things only have a usable life of like 20 years or 25 years, something like that, maybe 30 years. It's not that long.
Okay,
Each
right.
one is takes a lot of energy to put it up. Of course, they get that back, but
Hmm.
then again, then they got to replace it after so many years. I've had ours 12 years, still going strong. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, that's
25
good,
to 30
JJ.
years. Yeah, that's what
Nice.
I thought. 25 to 30
25,
years.
30 years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
okay. 25, 30 years. I've heard that too. Yeah. And a solar panel, I think it's similar, maybe a little longer,
yeah.
because there's no moving parts really in a solar, right?
Right.
In
Yeah.
a
There's no
solar
moving
panel, right?
parts. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that's why it would be a little longer. Yeah, my previous wife and I had solar panels on our house.
Mhm.
My previous house, yeah. We took out a loan to pay for them, and we just made it while we could still sell electric back to the city. Right, you can't do that
Mm.
anymore.
Uh,
But we were able to have free energy there for a little while, right? But yeah, they stopped doing that.
huh.
We made it for a couple years actually doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
First wind farms here are now
that's good.
obsolete, not big enough to generate the
Wow.
power needed. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I guess not. Yeah, I'm wondering about that too, right? They have wind farms here in Mount Aso.
Right.
For anyone who's interested, right? Uh, I'm not sure if they're efficient.
Right.
A lot of Japanese houses have solar water heaters. Yeah, right. Very good value, right? I know. A lot of Japanese homes do have that water heaters on their roofs, and it's good for a hot shower, right?
Yep. It's great.
But
It's great.
it's great, isn't it? Yeah, like those windmills in Aso, Dan. I'm sure you know those, right?
Hmm.
I've seen a couple of them were taken down
Oh yeah.
recently
Huh.
because I think they've reached their age limit, right?
Oh wow. It's been that long already.
Yeah,
Huh. Yeah.
think so. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, so that's one thing that, I don't hear, I've just started to hear talk about that is, the life cycle is not that long for those type of things. So they're a major investment. They take a lot of energy and they produce a lot of carbon. They have a rather large carbon footprint when it comes to putting them up,
Hmm.
right? Of course, they've
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
next
Right,
to
right.
zero while they're running, but getting them up there takes a lot of carbon to get that. Oh, thanks, JJ.
Thanks, JJ.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate you commenting. Excellent. Yeah.
yeah. And then they don't last for very long. But to me, the real concern about solar and wind power and so on. Um, there's your award, Jeff. Thanks.
Thanks for the award.
Yeah.
Thanks for the award, JJ. Awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
The thing is because the power grid has to maintain. You can't have fluctuations in the power grid, right? So uh, if you've got uh a rainy season or whatever, and it's just a drizzly rain, and so it's cloudy, so you're not getting any solar energy, and there's not enough wind really to
Hmm.
drive the wind turbines. Even if you got both of
Hmm.
those alternatives for renewable energy in place, uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
even a short period of time, because batteries, the best batteries we have now can't really store very much. Just we're talking about a matter of hours, not a matter of days. So you go a couple of days with not enough energy being produced, the grid's gonna collapse, right? The energy grid is gonna,
Yeah,
so they absolutely, I
totally.
mean, so because they know that, what I've heard recently is they absolutely make sure that they have, the fossil fuel burning uh, plants, as a backup, which means that they're running. You can't start them
Yeah,
from zero or whatever. So they got to be running a little bit all the time to just, so you can't get 100% away from it, right? You need that
right,
backup.
right. You definitely need that backup, right? Exactly right. Tiffany said the problem with solar is if the sun goes out.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh,
God
yeah,
may flip the switch, and
totally.
then what are we going to do? I mean,
What are we gonna do then? Yeah, right. Exactly right. And when some places aren't always windy, right?
that's
Even
right.
like wave power, right? There's sometimes there's not always waves, right? So
That's right. That's right.
it's really it's quite really all these things are quite dubious, aren't they? Right? You just
Yeah.
never know, right?
Yeah. I
And
mean,
as you said earlier, which I liked your comment on, Dan, on the carbon footprint for installing some of these things,
right.
right? Especially the wind turbines. Yeah, it's just astronomical.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
sure the carbon footprint for installing solar isn't low either.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, the manufacturing them and so on, getting them into place. Um, I don't know solar panels, but the when we're talking about electric cars and so on, the rare metals and so on, that's another issue. The rare, these
Hmm.
rare metals that are used in the electronics and the batteries and so on, and um, just another
Hmm.
problem.
Hmm.
You know, um,
It is. It's just a huge problem. Right. Right. Every time I go to Mount Aso, I do see new solar farms. Right.
wow.
People do build them, and I believe they're just community based. Right. So all these small solar farms you see, I think they're just for nearby homes or local small communities. Yeah. Uh, would that be what you would imagine?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really see many huge, spread out, sprawling solar farms or solar arrays, except
Right.
on the route number 2, the airport road number 2.
Hmm.
Have you been out there lately, Daini
Uh,
Kokosen?
yeah, I was out there and I did see that. I mean, that's pretty good size. It's not huge. I mean, you even for a city the size of Kumamoto, that's, just like a drop in the bucket. I doubt if it's anywhere close to 1%. Um,
Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah,
and
I guess it's not that huge, is it?
I mean, it's big, but
Right.
the point is that it takes so much space, you know, uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
for the population that it's almost impractical. I mean, they look at, oh, we got all this space, we'll put them out there in the desert. Well, that doesn't quite work either. I mean, uh, there's just not a lot.
Right. There are a few big solar farms big solar farms and wind farms here in South Australia.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, they're mm.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, to me, one thing that's really interesting, one form that I've heard about, but I don't know how far along they are, is the tidal, using the tidal
The way,
motion in order to generate electricity.
right.
Now that
Tidal motion or wave motion. Yeah,
right,
that's
yeah,
interesting.
the wave motion, the tidal motion. I mean, because that's something that's
Mhm.
consistent. I mean, unless we lose the moon and we don't have tides anymore, or I mean, but
Yeah.
we're in pretty good shape with that. It doesn't matter what the weather is. There's still waves. The tide still comes in and goes out. There's still that movement that can be generated that can be used to generate electricity. Again, the
Yeah,
trouble
indeed.
there
Totally,
is,
totally.
it's not close to, the places where we put those are not close to the population centers. Then you gotta string power supply cables from here to there and so on. So building the
No, that's
infrastructure
very
is going
true.
to be
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, our conversation is kind of going towards our alternative energy, which is cool. That's great. I mean, interestingly, my science English classes recent design project was to create their own alternative energy sources, right?
Mm-hmm.
And students came up with a lot of things. They came up with a lot of funny things, right? Of course, students have walking power, vibration energy, right?
Mm.
Vibration power, right?
Yep.
By walking or driving on roads, right? Storing that electricity somehow. One guy had 1,000 hamsters on hamster wheels running around. One guy had a solar power system in space.
Mm.
Which, hey, there you go, right above the atmosphere, which you have the constant sun in this case, but of course, getting it to Earth is really tricky.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, why don't you just build us a Dyson sphere around the sun there, and then we'll be all set.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Hey, wouldn't mind that if I could. I would if I could. How about these hover bikes, Dan? If you look on this next slide here,
hover bikes.
What do you think? Yeah, these are they look they're kind of almost in the public, I think, public domain, or you can buy them, in other words, right? I think.
Yep.
In some places, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hover bikes, again, like I said, I mean, it's an interesting idea. Yeah, it'd be very convenient. But again, you give people more options of where they can drive, and then the regulation becomes.
Thanks for the award.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Ross, thank you. Great, excellent. Yeah. All right. Please join again. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a giant dome bike frame. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's far from at the point where I would trust my life to riding one of those things.
Well, it looks kind of precarious. I mean, if you take one of those little propellers and it doesn't work right, you're going to be falling off or crashing it, right?
Yeah.
Or
give it a
right.
Yeah.
Give it a crack. Yeah, exactly. Right. Something like that. It seems like something could go wrong. Yeah. And these are just two pictures. There's many, many pictures on the internet,
right,
of hover bikes, right?
Yeah.
There are a couple of experimental.
But what are they using to power them? That's how we got into that talk about electricity generation. So what are they using to power these hover bikes? If it's not energy efficient, then I don't see a big future in it. I mean, I can't believe that those hover bikes are going to take less energy to move from one place to another than a standard motorcycle, so
Right. Energy wise, you're right. I'm not sure how they're powering them, right? Uh, yeah. Petrol motor from the bike. Yeah, right. Exactly. And they're probably using petrol to power them, I would imagine. Still
right,
carbon, right?
right, yeah,
I would think, unless I hear differently, that's what I think. Yeah.
right.
Right.
So
Electricity wise, right. Power wise, environment wise, I don't think there's much of a change.
right.
So then you got to ask, why are people inventing these things? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you've got
Maybe they're less fuel consumption. Could that be?
I
Right?
can't believe that electric motorcycles are still a bit off for efficiency. Yeah. Yeah,
That's what I've heard
I can't
too.
believe that they
Yes.
could be more efficient, because like I said, you're battling gravity, I mean, when you're rolling on those wheels, you've got inertia working for you and so on, where if when you're trying to hover something, you're pulling against gravity, even if you're stationary, if you're sitting there at the traffic light, you know waiting for the signal or whatever, you're still having to fight against gravity. You're running those, the propellers all the time,
Yeah. No, you're
I
right. Yeah.
I can't imagine that it could be even nearly. I can't imagine that it could be as efficient as a regular motorcycle. Those hover bikes. I just can't imagine that. Maybe it is. I could be wrong.
hmm
Only 100-mile
Yeah,
range.
I don't
Yeah.
know the details either.
Mm,
100-mile range, right, for electric motorcycles, right? Yeah, which
mm,
is not a lot.
right.
It's not a lot, right? Yeah.
But I
So
mean,
maybe that's
so
what it'll take, right? Maybe we'll just have to do it on a 100-mile range for a while until the technology gets further developed, right?
so I mean, I could see that, for example, within metropolitan areas over a certain size, that within the city limits, it's all electric
Mhm.
vehicles. So if you're inside the city, then you have to use electric vehicles, and that's fine. Because if you're in the city, you're not going to travel more than 100 miles a day, probably within the city limits, right? If you go outside the city, yeah,
Mhm,
okay, you
mhm.
can go ahead and use other forms of transportation, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
why not?
That's right. Why not? Sure, sure, sure. No, yeah, yeah. Why not? That's a good rule, actually. Some cities should do that. Dan, why don't you institute that
Okay,
here in
all right, Jeff.
Kumamoto?
Yep. You cannot drive your car, right?
Oh,
Only muscle powered. Yep. All bicycles. Your only
oh my
mode of
gosh, yeah.
transportation within Kumamoto city limits. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh. I should. Riding from my home to my workplace is about
Wow.
50 minutes on a bicycle,
Yep. Perfect.
and I have to go up some hills. It's
Good workout.
perfect.
Good workout.
It
There
is a
you
good
go.
workout.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It's a
Yeah.
good workout, right? Yeah, a really good
Ewan
workout. It's
McGregor drove
exhausting,
from
and
the southern tip of South
yeah.
America to LA on an electric Harley. Cool.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
I know
hadn't
he
heard
did
that
some
either.
riding in Europe. Yeah, Ewan McGregor did riding in Europe on motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Where was it? Right through Central Asia
Yeah.
to London, I think, through China, Central Asia, and through Europe to Spain, and then to England, I think it was.
Yeah.
And he wrote
Somebody
a book about it. Yeah.
somebody in Kumamoto was making electric motorcycles, electric scooters here in Kumamoto. They
Really?
were available. Yeah, they're expensive, and like you said, the limited range and the top speed wasn't that high, but for like bopping around, bopping around town, commuting to work or something like that. Yeah, definitely a doable on Apple TV. Okay, cool.
Yeah. On Apple TV, I'm going to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Right, Mosh. Thank you. Excellent. Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind that, having something like that around town. Yeah.
Hmm.
Now, one thing I saw on the news this morning, Dan, I don't know if you were watching the news this morning on Japanese news. This morning, they had this little segment about these kickboards. They're gas powered kickboards, like a
Hmm.
What do you call it?
Okay, yeah, I've seen
Like a
those. Yeah,
kickboard with two small wheels.
right.
Right. Yeah. And there are gas powered ones with a little engine.
Uh-huh.
And then people like it's really getting popular in bigger cities in Japan,
Really?
Tokyo and Osaka and whatnot. Yeah.
Huh.
They're kind of people are up in arms because there's no license required, so
Uh,
therefore there's no license plate, and people don't wear helmets,
right.
and they can go pretty fast. They zip around.
Yep. Yep.
A friend of mine from America actually had one in Kumamoto, and he bought a new one, a bigger one. So I got his older one, and
Oh.
we went around the city. This was ages ago,
Uh-huh.
20 years ago, right? So we were riding around the city, and a few policemen, stopped us. Actually,
Huh.
they're like, "What are those things? You can't ride it if it's gas powered. What is that?" Right? That was ages ago. So I gave up, right?
Uh,
And then it kind of wasn't, the upkeep was quite hard on those things. It was
uh,
small, broke down a lot, right?
right.
So yeah, but those little things, if you could make them street legal somehow and make them electric, that would be really cool, right?
How about a Segway?
Segway's great. Yeah, Segway's cool. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. I rode a Segway a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, what they had a demonstration at Kumamoto University a
Hmm.
few years ago. I went to that and rode a Segway.
Which model was that? Was that when
They're
they still had the handle up at the top that you could hang on to, or was it one where you
yes,
just drop?
yeah,
Oh, yeah. See, the new ones now, they don't even have the handle. You got nothing in your hands. You
okay,
control it all by your balance, your feet. It's I don't know. That scares me. I need something to hang on to.
yeah, me too, totally, yes, me too, absolutely, right. Having nothing, that's just seems weird, right? You
Yeah.
just like, you know, I mean, what if you're hungover and don't have good balance the next morning, right?
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
All right. So Mosh
Yeah, but
Mosh
I
is
need
telling us.
something to hang on to.
Yep, absolutely. Mosh is, giving us more information about Apple TV. That sounds good. And then
I think,
Eleanor,
yeah,
yeah, e-bikes, rent e-bikes
Argentina,
in Boulder,
LA.
Colorado. Cool.
Oh, e-bikes. Wow, that would be great. I'd love to try that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
four
it seems to me,
four
yeah. I mean,
places around. Okay, right. You just drop them off at different stations. Sounds excellent.
oh,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Okay. Oh, you got the Cheers ringtone, don't you?
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So Dan's on a phone call here. Yeah, I'll just go to the next slide while Dan's taking his phone call. That would be great, both of you. I'd love to see the series Mosh right on Apple TV, and yeah, I'd love to go to Boulder, Colorado, and rent an e-bike. That's just sounds like something I would love to do. Sounds really available in America, right? Oh wow, you're gonna ride your motorcycle from Ireland to Kos, Greece next year. Really? Oh, that's something I would love to do too. I have a motorcycle here in Japan. I would love to ride it. Something like that. Something like through China or right uh, westerly in a westerly direction. That would be wow. 4,000 kilometers, right? 4,000 kilos. That's incredible. What a trip. What a trip. Let us know about that more if you could. Let me know about that more, Mosh. Yeah. If you want to keep in touch, yeah, that would be great. You should definitely try to videotape your journey, right? That would be incredible, right? Because that would be something worthwhile to have. Yeah. Thanks, Eleanor. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Great. We'll talk later. Thank you. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah. Great. So this is something I have here too. Jetpacks. Yeah. And again, as we were talking about earlier, I don't know how these are fueled, right? The jetpacks here. The hover bikes, we pretty much, I think, thought they're going to be like some kind of petrol, some kind of carbon-based fuel, right? Jetpacks too, I would imagine. Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, okay, Mosh, you're going to document that trip in some way. Excellent. Yeah, please do. and really be worth seeing. You can put it on YouTube or what have you. Are you going to go alone? Because that would be exciting, but if you're going with other people, that would be excellent too. Yeah. So, yeah. So transportation is a must. It's necessary in this day and age. Yes. Like I was telling Dan, my house from my workplace is 50 minutes. I've ridden my bicycle many, many times. My mountain bike, it's pretty good, and I don't mind riding it. If it's not a mountain bike with speeds, I think it would be tough. I've done that too, though, on an old timer bicycle. We call it a mamachari here in Japan. Right, I've done that from my house to my work spot. Right, and yeah, that's even longer. But mountain bike, 50 minutes, I can do. Yeah. Oh, okay, Mosh, you're going to be doing that on your own. Family will fly there, and we'll have a family holiday there. That just sounds excellent. Yeah, it sounds like a really good trip. Okay, and I'm sure it's going to be one for the books for sure. Yeah, again, that's something I would love to do. I don't know if my wife would go for that one. She'd be like, "What? Why do you want to do that?" Probably, but I think it would be good. It would be fun. Yeah, because it's. I love motorcycles. I've been riding motorcycle for a long time, and yeah, it'd be great. And so definitely try to document that if you can. Did you see that, Dan? Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Mosh is planning to ride a motorcycle from Ireland to Greece.
From Ireland to Greece. Wow.
4,000 kilometers. Yeah.
That is a long way.
I said that should be documented, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something I would love to do myself. You don't have a motorcycle license, do you, Dan?
Nope. No.
Are you planning on getting one at all ever?
I don't know. I won't bother in Japan. In the Philippines, it's a lot easier. I'll just get one there, and I mean, because there it's really convenient too. So just with my regular driver's license, I can ride a motorcycle there.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. And right now, I don't have a really huge motorcycle, right? I have a Honda CB 400, right? Super 4, which it's enough, right? It's not super huge, right? But it's enough, right? A friend of mine once told me, oh, that's big enough to kill you.
That's right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thanks, Mosh. Yeah, right. It's big enough to kill me. So that's good for now, right? I've often thought about, going bigger. A friend of mine got a Harley, I think it's a 1300 cc. One of those huge jobs. The front area, right, with the windshield, with the stereo, right, the big seats, the luggage racks, the luggage compartments, right, on the sides. But that's a bit big.
Yeah.
But I would love to do something like that, ride my motorcycle from the south part of Kyushu to the north part of Hokkaido or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. For me, motorcycles, the big ones, like the Harley 1200s or whatever, those huge, those just don't appeal to me. I mean, if you want an engine that big, I just as soon have four wheels to support it,
Yeah, right. Yeah. But Dan, wait, there's nothing like the wind flowing through your hair, through your body, right?
I'd get a convertible
when you're riding outside. Yeah,
I'd get a convertible.
True.
I mean, I don't know. I'd just rather have four wheel. If I want to have the wind, my body, I still don't need 1200 cc's or whatever, or even 900 cc's.
Right.
The wind experience, I mean, 250 is probably enough. 400 would definitely be enough. 1650, holy cats!
I know. Mosh says I have a Harley Street Glide 1650 cc's. Oh my lord, that is huge! Wow,
Bobber. Wow.
Cartilage
Oh
CGI.
man.
Wow. Oh man. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. That, I mean, that would be fun too, right?
I mean,
But I
oh
know
my
you
God.
can't get a convertible. You can get a convertible, Dan, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I like the two-wheel experience. It's really great.
yeah, that's true.
It's
I mean,
fun.
it is a different experience. Yeah, but I mean, but the whole, I mean, the way you ride something like that, and the way you ride, 400 or a 250, I mean, they're entirely different riding experiences, aren't they?
They are, right.
You know.
Yeah, and also, like an on-off-road bike, like an
Mm,
enduro where you can go off onto trails and stuff,
yep.
compared with a street bike,
Mm,
there's a very different too, very, very
exactly.
different.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
rented, yeah, my brother-in-law rides, yeah, and we rented a few bikes from time to time, like one of us would ride my bike and we'd get another one. And
Hmm.
we got a few enduro 250s, right, or 300s, right, and they sit very tall, right, and
Right.
they've got the knobby tires so you can feel that as you're riding.
Yeah.
Those are really fun to ride.
Yeah.
We also got a few like low riders like Harley, chopper styles,
Right.
which are fun too, right?
Yeah.
But they're all different, very different experiences. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Very, very different
Yeah.
experiences. Yeah.
Yeah, the enduro type.
Yeah,
I
here
mean,
in
that's
Japan,
that
mm,
appeals to me. Yeah, that definitely.
the
I like
what?
that kind of the enduro. The off
The which
road.
one?
That.
Enduro.
Yeah,
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 yeah. No, it's really fun, right? And then
yeah.
I was gonna get an enduro bike from my friend here in Kumamoto before he moved abroad again,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't, I didn't,
Uh,
I didn't get it in the end, right? But I kind of wish I had, because
slow.
I have a street bike. And street bike's fun, but it's different. It's tight. It's really the clutch is hard, to
Mm-hmm.
ride, kind of, right, and
Mm,
it's very thin
mm,
and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, the Harley is a cruising bike, right? Fireblade is a beast of a sports bike. Okay. Bobber is a slow show bike. All right.
Hmm.
Well, that's pretty cool though, right? Yeah. Z750. Well, that sounds, yeah, those are really cool bikes uh too. And yeah, so I enjoyed the enduro, Dan. Yeah. If you
Mm,
do get one, there are trails and also you can ride on, which I've been finding out more about.
mm.
So you can basically ride up and kind of dip off and go
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
onto a trail, which for me that would be fun too.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Yeah. So I love motorcycles. Yeah. How about the jetpack here, Dan?
Jetpack.
This
Yeah.
these next couple of slides I put up there, and I assume these would be carbon-based fuel also,
Yeah.
the regular petrol. You
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the right now they're just working on the mechanics of making it, you know, legitimate. I mean, actually being able to work out the mechanics of just flying, and controlling it, and safely and so on. And then, like I said, it's
Hmm.
a whole nother issue of how it's going to be powered with any kind of energy efficiency. And I think that may be the step that really does them in. I mean, I can see the aerodynamics. They're going to be able to work their way around that, but yeah, I don't know.
Dan, I got to take a phone call. Can you take it for a second?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
okay. Okay,
sure.
thank
Why
you.
not? Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know, I missed out a lot there, but I mean, the jetpacks, like we were talking before earlier, jetpacks, that's been something that has been like a dream of mine from as young as I can remember. I've always wanted to have a jetpack. I just thought that was like the ultimate way to travel anywhere. You just totally individual, total freedom. You can go anywhere. You don't have to look for a parking place. You don't have to go to the airport or whatever. You just go up and down. Can you put a comment so I can follow you without leaving the broadcast? Absolutely, I can do that. um oh yeah, Dan. I'm Dan anyway. Yeah. um and but what I feel is the progress is so much slower than I had anticipated. I mean, there were, you know, years ago, I swear, when I was in elementary school, or at least by junior high school, and no, maybe not. When I was in high school, when I was in high school, I know that there were already, um, jetpacks that under development, right? I mean, again, you could only fly for a few seconds or minutes, because the amount of fuel that a person could carry, was burned up so quickly that um, the weight limits would be too great, for one person to carry that, and so on, and plus control issues and all that stuff. But I'm sure it was when I was in high school already, the first ones were coming out, and here it is, 40 years later, 45 years later, and it's still like, yeah, they're working on those, and someday, it's still someday. So it's a little disappointing. I mean, I like I said, there, to me, that would be the ultimate, being able to strap something on your back and just walk out the front door, zip, and step off at your friend's house, or step off at walk into the shopping center and pick up what you need. More when future fuel cell. Yeah. That's what they need.
I think
they need,
that would be great. They do need that.
Yep.
More fuel efficient, an efficient fuel. So absolutely, sure.
I mean,
sorry, I don't know where you guys were.
These things that we're talking about, when we talk about, the energy and so on, once they master fusion, then we're all good to go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally. Right. Totally. Fusion is the way to go. Right. Yep. But it's dangerous, and they haven't perfected it yet. Right. But that's
well, get back to work,
go,
Jeff.
I do believe. Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Indeed. Yeah. How about those? I was going to ask you about those wings. Those flying wings you see sometimes on the internet and whatnot, right? Yep. Somebody has this huge wing and they jump off of a cliff and they just fly and soar for ages. Have you seen those?
Oh,
what do you think about those?
You mean what? They're the ones that I've seen them jump off the cliff. It's like the suits that they have, like webbing between their arms and the body, and they spread them out like that.
Right.
Or like that's
what I mean. Yes.
Yeah. So those. I mean, that's real interesting, but not something that I want to do. Because basically you're speeding, head first, at how many tens of miles per hour, in a controlled fall. I don't know. And the other thing that the reason I am not ready to try it is I've never seen one land yet. I've always seen them take off and flying. I've never seen one land yet. I'm just
that's a good point.
That's
a good point. I don't think I have either, actually.
They just crash into the side of a building or the side of a mountain or ditch it into the ocean or something. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, you would think they would, kind of fly down and like come to a nice even landing,
right? Yeah, you would think,
standing upright on their feet.
You would hope so.
You would hope so, but
I just haven't seen that yet.
Yeah,
those wingsuits.
I know. There really are some crazy people. You're right.
They jump off the cliff and then they skim down, just like inches away from the cliff, and just down. And I mean, it's but it's all head first, and I don't care what kind of helmet you're wearing. You hit something, and that's all.
That's true. Oh, they have parachutes to land. Okay, I didn't know that.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Parachutes to land, which does make sense. Yes. And that doesn't seem so bad then if they have parachutes to land. Yeah.
I don't know. I've never
where your head for, Dan.
Jumped out of an airplane with a parachute on. I've never skydived, so I've never bungee jumped. I've never done any of that stuff. So,
would you skydive?
Probably not, because It would take too long because I wouldn't trust that just though, this guy says, yeah, you're packed, it's packed right. Don't worry, I'm an expert, screw you. This is my life. If I don't, if I
Yeah.
wasn't watching and knew enough to know whether you're doing it right or not, then I wouldn't do it. At this point in my life, I just don't see investing that much time in that skill. I just don't see the payoff as being that good, that great for me. So.
Yeah, yeah.
But even
Right. Yeah,
bungee
I know.
jumping, I'm not interested in bungee jumping either. I just no.
I had a couple friends who went bungee jumping, and one friend said that
Yeah,
it's just the worst experience. It was the worst experience for him because he saw the ground coming closer and closer and closer, and really he thought he was going to hit it, right?
right,
And he just did not enjoy that experience at all.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
So from
doesn't
that,
appeal to me.
I felt, yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that, and I've never been bungee jumping either, and I
Now,
don't think I will either.
paragliding.
I'm
Paragliding doesn't
paragliding,
sound
yes,
too bad.
right, right.
Yeah, like
I've
like
been
Mosh says there,
parasailing.
or parasailing. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Parasailing,
I've
paragliding,
been parasailing.
Um, yeah, I mean, jumping out of an airplane, like Mosh
Mosh
said,
says,
yeah, you're in an airplane. Why the heck are you
yeah.
jumping out of a perfectly good? Yeah, that doesn't make any
Why?
sense. But
Right.
if you start out
Why
on
would
the
you want
top
to
of a
jump
mountain and you
willingly?
step off, then and you float down. Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense there. It's a faster way to get down than climbing back down. Okay, you're not
Yeah.
climbing out of the airplane. So yeah, I could see that.
Why would you want to willingly jump out of a
Perfectly.
fast-moving, perfectly good airplane? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, unless you're DB Cooper. Remember that guy who, in the 1970s, he hijacked a plane for ransom money and then jumped out. So if
Right.
you're
Yeah.
DB Cooper, you might
Right.
want to jump
They
out.
never found him, right?
That's right. They never found him.
Yeah. One of the
Exactly.
unsolved
But
mysteries. Yeah.
right. But yeah, skydiving is something I don't know if I would do either.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
no. Hey,
Skydiving, bungee
a couple
jumping.
of other things. Yeah. The Hyperloop, right, which is something that Elon Musk envisioned 8 or 9 years ago, right? Have you
Mm.
heard about that? That's really up and coming now. I've seen quite a
No.
few
How's
things
that
on
different
YouTube
than
about the
linear?
Hyperloop.
How's that different than a linear?
It uses linear technology. It uses like a maglev, right?
Right.
Kind of linear
Uh-huh.
based, but it's in a tube and it goes underground. A lot of them in Elon Musk's vision,
Mm.
I think it goes underground, and people are actually making them now, right? Countries are
Yeah.
actually starting, right? The Mumbai Hyperloop project, right, is starting theirs, right? They've been testing them in Nevada, I believe it was, right? So yeah, so that's really cool. There's someone who jumped out of a plane without a parachute and landed in a giant net. Crazy man. Yeah, okay, Mosh, I
Absolutely.
agree. I think that's crazy. How about that challenge, Dan or Mosh? If someone gives you $10 million, would you do that in that case?
To jump out of an
Jump out of a
airplane
plane without a parachute
without a parachute?
and try to land on a giant net? Would you? $10 million?
No. No.
No,
No. No.
never. No,
No.
20 million? No,
I mean,
Mosh, no.
a million's more than I need, I mean, so 10 million, whether it's, 1 or 10 or 20 or 100 million, that's not
Yeah, right.
it's just like, no, I mean, I don't know how long I'm going to live. And I mean, I'd probably die of a heart attack on the way down, I mean, so,
Sure,
whether I hit the net or not,
sure.
I think, then I just assume, I don't, to me, that's just like asking me to commit suicide. No, thanks. No, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, but obviously this guy did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so people do it. People think of these things and people do it. Yeah, which is
Yeah.
just,
People do
it's
all
a little
kinds of
bit
crazy
crazy for me
things.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well,
yeah. That's right. And whether it's for money or not, I think, right?
yeah. Money.
Some
Yeah.
people don't care about the money. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah. I mean, yeah. People pay
at all.
to jump out. To go skydiving, right? People pay.
Yes,
They take
right, sure.
lessons and have get and they have to pay and rent the equipment and so on, right? Um, The
Mhm,
fall
mhm.
won't kill you. It'd be the sudden stop. That's
The
right.
sudden stop, right? True, right? Yeah, whoosh, yeah, sure. Even in the net, I think it would just be,
Yeah.
the sudden stop would be pretty harmful,
Yeah.
even in the net, right?
Yeah.
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 But
Yeah.
yeah, no, no thanks, no thanks. I agree. I'm not going to try that. I don't know about a jetpack either, right? I mean, mm,
I mean,
unless we take care of the fuel problem, right, and the energy problem, I wouldn't try a jetpack, right?
yeah. I mean, I'd have to be pretty confident in the safety of that jetpack, and the
Hmm,
how
hmm.
it'd have to be pretty foolproof. If I'm gonna fly the thing, it's got to be foolproof, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, for sure. Oh, you mean idiot proof? Yeah,
Yeah,
foolproof, idiot proof.
absolutely.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But what do you think about the Hyperloop project thing, Dan?
I think. I
I think
mean,
it's a good idea. I really think it's a great
yeah,
idea.
I think it's a great idea too. Yeah, absolutely. Again, that's a way for people to move fast. Um, it's a way to move, energy efficiently. There's a lot of
Hmm,
pluses there.
hmm.
Once all the kinks are worked out, the probably be safe. Yeah, definitely a good idea. Yeah, I agree with Mosh. Absolutely, good idea. Yep.
I agree.
Thumbs up on that
I
one.
totally
Okay.
agree. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Thumbs
put
up
all your
on that
money
one.
in
Totally. Yeah.
the loop thing there. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dan. I'll get going on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll put all my money in the Hyperloop. Yeah, I guess you can build it everywhere, I believe, right? I mean, except maybe some places with a lot of mountainous regions. I don't know if it would work too well there,
Well, I don't know. I
right?
mean, places with a lot of earthquakes. I
Maybe,
mean,
yeah, places with a lot of earthquakes like Japan, I'm thinking, right?
yeah,
Or
yeah,
typhoons
yeah,
or tsunami, right? That might be hard.
yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But,
there's, in places, but that's the whole thing. There's a lot of ideas out there, and no one idea will necessarily be the best solution everywhere, right? But it might be the best
mhm,
solution
mhm.
in many places, and a different solution will be best in another place, and that's fine, right? Yeah.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. I totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hi. Yeah, it'll be good. And maybe eventually they'll be connecting countries, I think, either under the ocean,
Hmm.
right? Or somehow, right?
Hmm.
Underground, I think. I
I
think
mean,
that's going to be a large part of it, underground.
yep. Yeah. But again, they need to, there's so much about that we don't know yet. We have to map the underground to know
Mm,
where, the it would be, thin, so I mean, on the surface we're able to map out where the volcanoes are, where the crust is thin, and the liquid, lava, the magma is coming up, but underground, that's a big unknown at this point. I mean, that's a long way. I think jetpacks will, come about before we got some things under the ocean like that.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, possibly so, right? That's true. We don't know a lot, do we? That's
I mean,
very
that's,
true.
going under the
Yeah.
ocean. That's pretty deep, you know.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that's pretty wicked, isn't it? Yeah. Who knows? And earthquake activity wouldn't fare too well with these things, right? And a lot of geothermal activity too. But I think it's a good idea, right? And people are focusing on these things, which is good. Yeah, yeah. And I think we just have to kind of focus more on, like we were talking about earlier, right? The energy related aspect. Yeah, we have to kind of look at the future of energy